we are going to start American Revolution. (1776 to 1783) is the year which been marked. Okay, somewhere you can, some books have 1775 also. Both are correct. Okay, 1775 or 1776 to 1783 is what we are discussing about American Revolution. So actually we will see what were the causes for American Revolution, why this revolution happened. Okay, and what has been happening, what are the events which happened, and we have a question for mains. Okay, I'll show you that also. American Revolution was one of the causes for French Revolution, so we'll also study how it is linked. Okay, so American Revolution involved as an armed overthrow of the British colonial power from North America with French assistance. Okay, when I'm telling this, you don't understand what I'm saying, because firstly you should have a clear picture about, if I'm telling about America, you should be immediately think in world map where America comes. Okay, and we are talking about Britain today, we are talking about France today. Okay, at least Britain and America you should be knowing in your mind, in the map where it comes, then only we can link things. Okay, don't worry, I've taken the map also. I'll show you that. Okay, first we'll see what were the previous year UPSC questions from American Revolution topic. Okay, explain how the foundation of the modern world was laid by the American and French revolutions. Okay, this was the one question. Second one, American Revolution was an economic revolt against mercantilism. Substantiate. Okay, American Revolution was not really a revolution. Critically examine. Okay, discuss briefly about the impact of American Revolution in Britain. Okay, these were the questions, some of the questions. Okay, I cannot tell, and I could not paste entire question, but these were some of the questions. So now you will get an idea in what perspective UPSC is asking, what are they pointing out. So in all the questions you can come to a summary that only little information you want to know, but you want to fit into the answers rightly. Okay, you should be smart in studying this. I told you scholarly information we don't need here. Whatever we are discussing in class, be very clear with that. Okay, and extra reading PDF is fine. Okay. Now, okay, I told you we'll learn about, we'll have a look at North America. I'll be talking about American Revolution. So first you should be knowing where America comes to the Indian map. I'm sure you guys have seen the map of America, nothing new for you guys, but a few minutes we'll discuss. Okay, so with respect to this American map, whenever I'm telling American Revolution, please think that I'm talking about North America. Okay, nothing related to South America, Latin America, we don't have anything to talk here. If I'm telling North America, if somebody somewhere you're saying North America, that means it is the USA and that continent. Okay, not South America. Okay, now whenever you're seeing a map, first you have to do is that map the directions. Okay, this is south, north, east, west. Okay, this you have to do. Whenever you get a map in your hand, first you do directions, then you will be easily getting to the next step. Okay, then some few important things. Some oceans are Arctic Ocean on the northern side, Atlantic Ocean on the eastern side, Pacific Ocean and Pacific Ocean here also. And we have Appalachian Mountains and Rocky Mountains. Okay, this is just simple things about North America. Immediately you should be knowing this picture. Okay, not a topic I have taken you, because you guys should be clear when I'm talking about this one. Okay, now let's get into the topic. American Revolution. American Revolution is an ideological and political revolution. Okay, I'm telling you, ideological and political revolution. If you remember, we were talking about Enlightenment period. Okay, Enlightenment period. And I told you we'll be talking about few thinkers like John Locke, Rousseau, Voltaire, and some people we'll be talking about. Okay, so these people have got enlightened, or they have got some ideological information. That means whomsoever was living during that time, they have started thinking differently from the existing system. Okay, in respect of polity, in respect of economy, in respect of culture, everything, these people have started thinking something new that is deviated from the current perspective. That is why the period is known as Enlightened period, or we can also say that Enlightened period is also called Age of Reason. Age of Reason. Don't worry, with respect to Enlightenment, we'll have a separate day maybe tomorrow we'll discuss about enlightenment. Okay, so for this American Revolution, you only have to know this one, and it is an ideological and political revolution. I'll tell you how political has come. Okay, politically you can relate is that till now, that means before the American Revolution, what was waiting is that only we had monarchy, or the king was ruling the country. There is no concept of democracy, republic, something. So these thinkers, or including some group of people who were said to have gone for the reasoning, or they were started thinking about logic, evidence, empiricism, all those things they were going behind, and they said that okay, this political setup is not good. All the evil in society, or whatever problems they have society, is because of the one of the reasons is also this political setup. We need the change of political setup. So we need a change from monarchy to republican is what their need was. So these all things are some of the reasons for American Revolution to happen. Okay, so it's an ideological and political revolution. Now, where it occurred? Next question, okay, which occurred in colonial North America between 1765 and 1783. Years are not important, you can just mark it. Okay, your answers will be enriched if you write the years. That's it. Okay, it is not mandatory. You should be knowing some rough information about maybe in 17 after 1750s or after 1763 this happened. You should be knowing only that much. Okay, I will not emphasize that you have to by heart the years, not required. Okay. Okay. So it happened in colonial North America between 1765 and 1783. Okay. And it is not ending in 1783, but we will be discussing some topics till 1783. After that, we'll move into different thing. So I will see there what happens. Okay. What happened is that American patriots in the 13 colonies defeated the British in the American Revolutionary War, gaining independence from the British crown. Okay, you may not understand because it is a crux of this thing. In the whole PPT, which we are going to discuss, another 20-25 PPTs, I'm going to discuss about this only. Okay, what is happening? American patriots, that means American natives in the 13 colonies. Okay, you guys will be familiar. 13 colonies or 13 states came together initially. Okay, I have map of 13 colonies. I'll show you. Okay, these are the 13 colonies. Okay, these are the 13. This is towards the east of America, east of US currently. Okay, 13 colonies were there. You don't have to remember the name, nothing. You just want to know about 13 colonies were there. 13 colonies united together, and they have decided that they will put out British out. Okay, British will be thrown out and they will rule themselves. Okay, this is what exactly happened in American Revolution, nothing more. Okay, now we'll go back to that slide. Okay, so what happened is that American patriots in the 13 colonies defeated the British in the American Revolutionary War, gaining independence from the British crown. So we will see how all this happened in the coming slides. Okay, and what was the result of American Revolution? Result was that establishing United States of America, first modern constitutional liberal democracy. Okay, the world's first modern constitutional liberal democracy was set up because of the result of American Revolution and American Civil War. Okay, that is the end of American Revolution. Summary is, it evolved as an armed overthrow of the British colonial power from North America with French assistance. Okay, we know that British was there in India also. We were also under colonized situation. Same situation was there in America also. British colonized the American area also, but the entire continent was divided into two. Some areas were conquered by French and some areas were conquered by British. Okay, I'll show you the map, everything. So, but French have helped the Native Americans. They became friends and they sent British. They tried to send British out, and that is how American Revolution happened, and they got the independence, and they made first modern constitutional liberal democracy and established United States of America, the states coming together and joining. Okay, this is the synopsis of American Revolution. This is what happened in American Revolution. Then we are going to see what are things happened in between that. Finally, they got independence. Okay, this is the crux. This slide is very important. You should be knowing in and out of this so that it is very easy for you to come to an answer. Okay. Now we'll get into world map. Actually, this is not important. I have kept it because you guys should be familiar with what we are talking. Because from today for another 18 classes, I'll be talking about America, French, Russia, England, and all these things we'll be talking. So you guys should be familiar. I'm sure that you are familiar, but just I'm taking a few minutes out of this. Okay. So we are talking currently, USA is this one. This is Alaska, one political union, and we have Canada here, and we have Mexico here. This is Latin America or South America, and we have England or Britain. Okay. Okay. Now we are discussing about world map. Actually, we are talking about world history. There is nothing called world history at all. Okay. It's all about European history. What then we are talking about Vietnam War, Chinese Mao thing, everything is in a very little, not only. The world history is entirely European history, American Revolution, French Revolution, Civil War, etc., etc. Okay. Other parts have very little role to play. Okay. Let's move on. Then America before American Revolution. Okay. This is now, see, whatever you are seeing in red, this was under the British. This is Britain. Okay, it was Britain's colony, all this area. Whatever in red you are seeing, this is under the British before the American Revolution. Now they will go away and it will be backed by US government. Okay, this was the situation before. I hope that you guys are clear with the map. Okay. Okay, now background. Okay, before going to the background, we are talking about the western and eastern coast of US and Canada. Okay, so okay, if this is North America, we have Canada here, we have US here, we have Mexico here. Okay, I've told you whenever we are taking a map, what you should do first, mark the directions, that is south, north, east, west. Okay, now we'll go to this. Western coast of US and Canada was under French control. Which is the western coast? This area. This area was under French control. Easy to understand? Okay. Eastern coast of US and Canada under British control. Obviously, 13 colonies all fought here. So eastern coast under whom? British. Okay. Now, next question is why we're talking about this. Why actually I want to talk here about British was not exploitative like how British was there in India. And they have reason for that. Okay. In India, we know in their modern history, we study about how British exploited India economically, everything. They have drained everything out of India and made their own empire. Okay. So here we are talking, same situation was not replicated in America. America's situation was entirely different. Even though they have colonized America, Britain have come, England is here. They have come from here and tried to colonize here. They were not exploitative. Reason is why? Why? The reason is French. Because they were scared that if they are exploiting this eastern coast or area which they colonize, French will come and help this Native Americans. Indians, nobody, we didn't had anybody to come and help. Okay, no big power was there during that time so that they could come and help India. But America had people. So French and Britain always in rivalry. We know that all the Anglo-French rivalry, Carnatic Wars, 7-year-long war, everything we know. Okay, so British was scared that French will come and help Americans, so they were not exploitative. They were like mild going. Colonization is there, but they were not so ruthless as how they were in India. Okay, that is why they were not exploitative. Okay, you should be thinking like it is colonization means saying, but they were not exploitative. Why we are talking this point? Because after 1763, that is after Third Carnatic War, we'll talk about the next slide, they will start become exploitative. Okay, I'll tell you why this happened. I'll tell you the next slide. Okay, that is why I'm emphasizing here on saying that before it was they were not exploitative. Now after 1763 or after Third Carnatic War, they started become exploitative, and that is all the reason for American Revolution. Then they started become exploitative. This 13 colonies and all those areas, they started imposing a lot of restrictions, taxes, duties. The people life were so miserable that they started contemplating against the government. Okay, they started rivalry against the government, and this ended up in American Revolution. Okay, now let's go ahead. Causes of American Revolution. Okay, we'll study in step by step. Okay, political causes are there, economic causes are there, ideological causes are there, army's role is there. All these things are 4 different causes of there. In PDF, I have given you same way. Okay, so we'll also discuss here. So first we'll talk about the political cause. Okay, for political cause, first one was Anglo-French rivalry. So I have discussed you, British and French were enemies every time. So Anglo-French rivalry was there persisting every time. So because of that only, they were not exploitative to Americans. They were smooth or soft colonization was there. Yeah, that is the right word, soft colonization. Okay, before American Revolution or before 1763, soft colonization was there. Okay, because Carnatic War ended during that time. Okay, so during 1760, third Carnatic was there from 1754 to 1763. Okay, third Carnatic War was there. Or we can also say that 7-year war was there. Okay, now I'll tell you. In third Carnatic War, French lost entire power. Okay, they were reduced to only few areas. So what happened is that French lost to British. Now Britain became the victor. Okay, now because Britain was at the side of victory, what happened is that French have gone from the American subcontinent also. Okay, and with the Treaty of Paris, French have withdrawn from all the British colonies, almost all British colonies, and they're reduced to only few small colonies in and around. Because of that, what happened? Now, you know that British don't have to get scared of French coming and helping Americans. Okay, in that map I've shown you, eastern side who was there, 13 colonies under British. Western side who was there, French was there. Now French is gone. So now French will not come and help Americans. So what has happened? Britain started exploiting these people. They don't have to worry. Now they can extract all the resources from these people. Okay, that is the first Anglo-French rivalry or third Carnatic War was one of the reasons for the political cause of American Revolution. Okay, then second one is shift from policy of benign neglect. Okay, what do you mean by benign neglect? That means they were not at all exploiting, not at all giving importance. Okay, the shift from that happened. That means why after French left, okay, they started looking more into America. Okay, imposing taxes, exploiting people, getting resources, trying to impose monopoly of tea, of trade through East India Company. All these things they were trying. So because of that, a shift of policy happened. Life of people became very miserable in America. These were the 2 main political causes. Anglo-French rivalry ended because of that. French left. So British don't have to get scared of anybody. Now French will not come and help Americans so easily because they are not in the continent at all. So that happened. And the second one is shift from the policy of benign neglect. That means Americans were not, like, soft colonization was there. That is stopped. And the new kind of exploitative measure started by the Britain or British Crown. These were the political causes. Now we'll move towards, okay, I'll show you a map. European claims in North America before and after 7-year war we are seeing here. Okay, 7-year war was the third Carnatic War. Okay, it is ended in, I told you 1763 it ended. Okay, 56 or 54 it have started. Okay, now you see whatever in red before Carnatic War, this was French. Okay, now after war you see there's no French at all. Okay, and the blue is Britain. Okay, before Britain was only limited to this. Okay, now Britain is here. Now you understood whatever I'm talking. Now after war, in this scenario there is no France at all. That means British are sure that nobody will come and help Native Americans if they start exploiting also. So let's start it. Okay, that was one of the political reason to start American Revolution. Okay, now we'll move to economic causes. These were the important causes. Okay, even though you are emphasizing on political causes, but more importance is there on economic causes because many questions come from this area, economic causes. So we'll go ahead and see what were the economic causes. First one is Navigation Act. So what is Navigation Act? Navigation Act means this act was actually passed in the year 1650 by British. Who passed it? By British or by Britain. And they said that America has to follow Navigation Act. Okay, but they were not strict till 1763. After 1763, they started taking strict measures. This is the reason of one of the economic causes. Okay, through Navigation Act, what was told is that Britain will have monopoly of trade in America. Okay, America who only will trade, only Britain will trade. Okay, if you know the map, this is North America, Britain is here. Okay, so who will trade? Only Britain will trade. Trade will happen only between North America and Britain. No third party. They can't go to any other place. Okay, trade will not happen with any party, any third party. And even if trade happens to a third party, what they have to do, suppose it is coming from India or Australia, they have to first go to Europe. Okay, they have to reach Britain, then it has to come here. Okay, and lot of taxes were imposed. Okay, it was very expensive, we know that. Okay, so imposed high navigation tax if trade with third party. Third party also have to come this way only. That means first to Europe and England and then come to North America. This was the Navigation Act. Okay, Navigation Act was passed, even though passed in 1650, it was very strict after 1763, after the Carnatic War, because French is not there now, so they can start exploiting. So that was the one reason, Navigation Act. Next is Stamp Act of 1765. Okay, what is Stamp Act? Stamp Act, when you're seeing only, you know, it will be related to stamp tax or stamp duties. Okay, stamp duties, you know what it is. Okay, it is like all the business transactions in the British colonies in US will have stamp duty. Any business transaction you do, you have to pay a minimum amount of revenue stamps, of some amount is fixed. That is mandatory on all the legal documents. Anything you do, you have to pay this much duty to the government. Okay, that was the Stamp Act. Again, it is exploitative because it was not there before. Something new has come, so people started revolting against that also. Then third one is townshend duties. Okay, townshend duties means actually tax on essential commodities started charging, like food grains, wood, sugar, bread, salt, etc. On all these items, or these are essential commodities, right? All these essential commodities duties were charged. Okay, now I'll tell you all this area where now British is covering, all this already have local government. Local self-government, elected governments has already have, and they are imposing taxes. Now Britain also have started. So what has happened? Over and above the local government tax, even British also started imposing taxes. It has become very miserable for the normal life of people. Okay, then indirect tax on all the basic goods, that is parts of townshend duties only. Indirect taxes on all basic goods also started to charge. Okay, these are the three main things. Then now we're going to talk about tea also. Okay, four are the main economic causes: Navigation Act, Stamp Act, townshend duties. Navigation Act, you know, Navigation Act is British monopoly of trade will be there. One way free trade will be there. Okay, and third party, if they are trading with third party also, they have to come to Europe and then come to North America. Okay, then Stamp Act, stamp duties on mandatory, fixed amount is mandatory on all the business transactions. That was very miserable for normal people there. Okay, small manufacturers, etc. Then townshend duties. That means townshend duties means taxes on essential commodities like food grains, wood, sugar, bread, salt, etc. And the townshend duties also had over and above local government tax. You have to keep in mind, local government was there in all these 13 colonies and some other places in North America. And they were having local self-government also, and they were ruling, they were paying taxes. Okay, why British did not dissolve all these things? Because they were not exploitative. I've told you, they don't wanted to get into so much nitty-gritties that people will start revolting. That situation was not there. Now they'll start doing. It was not there before. Now French have left. Now they'll start doing. Okay, this is about the economic causes. Now we'll talk about tea. Okay, now with respect to tea, if you are seeing, you know that predominantly where tea was produced during that time, tea was predominantly produced in India and China. Okay, so in this map, you know, India and China tea producer. Tea was predominantly produced in India and China. They can't navigate to this directly. That is not possible under Navigation Act. Okay, Navigation Act. Okay, this is not possible. So we have to bring all these things here. Okay, or it has to come like this. Come like this. Okay, it have to reach Europe. After reaching Europe and England, they will be giving only this route was allowed. Okay, so that is what was meant by Navigation Act. But any product is like that, so obviously tea will also come under that. Okay, so before 1763, what happened is that 763 means what? After the French defeat, before the French defeat, when French was there, that time American traders used to smuggle this tea from Europe to America. They used to smuggle. They will not pay taxes. They will import from China and India. They will bring to Europe. From Europe, what they'll do is that they will smuggle this. If they smuggle, that means what? They don't have to pay taxes. Okay, and did not obey Navigation Act, though Navigation Act was not strict also. Okay, so Southeast Asia, from Southeast Asia, tea will come to Europe. From Europe, it will go to North America. Traders will buy the tea from non-British traders and smuggle the goods to North America. So they did not have to pay the taxes. That was there. And since they don't have to pay the taxes, for American traders, it was profitable to do tea business. Okay, profitable. Okay, that was the condition. And we'll see in the next slide. Data are given there. Okay, tea predominantly produced in India and China. Before 1763, American traders smuggled tea. 2/3 of the tea was smuggled during that time. Okay, very important. Write the answers. Emphasis on this. Okay, you can fetch good marks. Okay, 2/3, because you are very clear about what you are writing. I meant to say that. Okay, 2/3 of the tea was smuggled before 1763, and navigation law was not strictly enforced during that time. Post 1763, everything changed, and strict actions was taken by whom? British. Okay, they were started cracking down all these things. Okay, that was happened with respect to tea. Now we'll see post 1763, American traders are affected. How they are affected? Because of Navigation Act, now they are not able to do trade with any other third party. Before also they smuggle things. That's also cracked down. Crown has started observing everything very strictly. So traders' profits went down. Okay, it is miserable for the people. Tea in trade, in spite of all these things, what happened? British government have given tea in trade monopoly to East India Company. Okay, why? Because East India Company will give more dividends to government. It is deal between them. Okay, dividends to British Crown. Because of that, British government allowed East India Company to have monopoly of trade in tea in USA. Okay, all these things happened post 1763. So American traders were affected. How they are affected? You know that because of Navigation Act, the trades were restricted very much, that only from England Americans were supposed to buy the things, even though they used to smuggle tea and other things. That was strictly cracked down. Now it has become very strict, and then tea in trade monopoly was given to East India Company. So the economic causes we can summarize by saying that, okay, I want to talk about here mercantile capitalism. Okay, what is mercantile capitalism? Mercantile capitalism means balance of trade. When you are seeing export minus import, balance of trade have to be favorable to Britain. Favorable to Britain. This was the funda. Okay, what is the aim? Only aim is that Britain, let them have trade with any country. Okay, you have trade relations with any country, you import or you export, anything you do, but balance of trade have to be, BOT have to be in favor of Britain. That was the mercantile capitalism. So obviously what will happen with America? Also they have used this policy. So Americans started, they started getting exploited. All their resources will be going out as raw materials, and they were the market for manufactured goods also, and they were in highly miserable situation. Okay, because all the profits and all the good things of the trade was going towards England. The Navigation Act we discussed, stamp duties we discussed, townshend duties, tea trade we discussed, indirect tax I told you, and tax. All these things are above all. Local government already imposing tax. Above all these things, all these duties and taxes were imposed. These were the economic causes for the American Revolution to occur. Okay, now the famous slogan, no taxation without representation. You guys would have been seen in India also, you were using this. Okay, now I'll tell you why this is important. Now when you're writing answers with respect to American Revolution, please do write this statement. Okay, don't come without writing the statement. It's very, very important. Okay, no time, because why it is important, I'll tell you. So we were discussing about tea trade, etc. So by 1770s already there is a lot of resentment among people because taxes on essential commodities, that is townshend duties was there, stamp tax is there, strict enforcement of Navigation Act is happening, and monopoly of tea is also given to East India Company. All this led to popular call in eastern part of North America. You can imagine when I'm telling eastern part, right? Towards the 13 colonies, eastern part of North America, what has come? A slogan has emerged by saying that no taxation without representation. Okay, this is very important. How it has come? Because of all these taxes imposed. Now I'll tell you, already there is a taxation from elected self-government, we know. Above that also, some taxation from British government is coming. This led to the formation of this slogan. Now they are saying that any further taxes will not be paid by Americans until and unless they are granted representation in the framing of these taxes. Okay, you give us representation, then you tax us. You make a opportunity that we are also a part of making laws, and then you start taxing us. Okay, that was the entire funda behind no taxation without representation. Okay, so already there is taxation from local self-government, and above that, British Crown is imposing many other taxes and duties. Okay, American natives have said that any further taxes will not be paid until and unless they are granted representation in the framing of these laws. Okay, you give a representation, then you tax us. This was the thing told about. Okay, then we'll see. Okay, this was actually argued that you do no taxation without representation. You give us, then we will start, you make us also a part of the policy formulation, then we'll start paying taxes first. But what has happened? All these demands did not agreed by British Crown. They did not accept all these demands. Then what happened is an important thing, that is Boston Tea Party. Okay, Boston Tea Party happened in December 16, 1773. Important landmark with respect to American Revolution. Okay, when you're writing the answers, after no representation without, no taxation without representation, next paragraph should be about Boston Tea Party. Okay, so Boston Tea Party. So as usual, British Crown did not agree to all these demands. Okay, what happened in Boston Tea Party? Okay, first I'll show you where is Boston. Okay, here you have Boston. Boston is here. Okay, towards the eastern part. Okay, you know there is a harbor here. Okay, coastal area. Okay, clear? Now you just see what is Boston Tea Party. Boston Tea Party, it is a protest against tea tax, all initiated with the protest against tea tax. Okay, a ship carrying tea was anchored in the Boston port. Where is Boston port? Eastern part of USA. Okay, a ship with tea. Where was tea coming from? Tea was coming from UK. Okay, it was coming from UK. It got anchored in Boston port. Initially, Americans did not allow the ship to unload, and this resulted in a standoff for many days. Okay, why Americans did not allow? Because American traders were having loss. Okay, and because that smuggling thing is also not stopped, even though it is not good thing, but the cost of tea was very less during America during that time. Now, after Navigation Act is come, it has not gone so high, but it was traders were not getting profit. That was the main issue. So Americans did not allow the ship to unload, and this resulted in a standoff for many days. And after all, the monopoly is also given to East India Company. All this were in the mind of people. They did not allow to unload the cargoes which has come. Okay, almost 300 plus cargoes have come in ships. They did not allow to get down. Finally, when the pro-Britain Boston governor ordered unloading, Boston governor was pro-Britain, and he felt that yes, you can unload the cargoes. What happened is that white settlers destroyed all the tea by offloading all the containers into sea. They have put all the carton boxes into the sea. And British responded by closing the Boston port to all trade and right to self-government taken away. Okay, this was the after effect of this. So what happened is that there were protests against tea tax. Okay, that time a ship carrying tea was anchored in Boston port. Initially, the Americans did not allow the ship to unload, and this resulted in a standoff for many days. Finally, when they got the approval to unload, what American natives, what they do, some American tribes were also part of this. They have put all the containers or the cargoes into around 300 plus cargoes into the sea itself. And this have made a problem to the UK crown, and the crown have thought that some mutiny is happening. So let us close the Boston port. So in that anchor, they have closed the Boston port to all trade. Let us none of the trade will happen in Boston port, and right to self-government also were taken away from all these colonies. Now you'll see, you can see a picture here. The carton boxes are falling into water. Okay. And some tribes is also included. You can see the tribes in the American tribes also came helping in this protest. Okay. This is about Boston Tea Party. Okay. Nothing new. Okay. Actually, Boston Tea Party, we can say this have marked the beginning of American Revolution. That means what? Some action is taken by people. Okay. Boston. Okay. Now, French rivalry ended, we know, in 1763. Okay. French rivalry ended by Carnatic War, Third Carnatic War. Okay. And Boston Tea Party happened in 17. When happened? December 16, 1773. This half marked American Revolution a start. Okay. Then American Revolution initially began in 1775 because of the invasion of army. Okay. I'll tell you. After Boston Tea Party, what happened is that the crown thought that some mutiny is happening. Okay. So because a violence is happening. So crown have brought British troops to America. British troops have come to America. Okay. So troops have come. So army is come to America from England. What has happened is that at the same time, suddenly who came? French came to help America. Even though I told you they are not in the continent, but they were there other side. So they have come to help America, and French have given both the troops to the Native Americans, and also they give money. Financial help was given, and the two armies fought here. Okay, that is why American Revolution began in 1775. This took almost 2 years. So for officially American Revolution to begin, and we can talk about Philadelphia Congress now. Okay, I'll tell you again this slide. 1763, French rivalry ended with Third Carnatic War. 1773, December 16, Boston Tea Party happened. Okay, when Boston Tea Party happened, before that only they were put no taxation without representation slogan, demands were put, but none of the demands were agreed by British Crown. So British Crown thought that some mutiny is happening, and obviously some violence was happening, and they have brought British troops to this eastern coast of America. When British troops came, like army came in, French suddenly came and helped America. Why French came? Because they are already having every time they are in rival with Britain. Okay, so French came up with troops and also gave financial help. So that both the armies were face to face, and they were into revolution there. Okay, so we have reached here. Now we have to talk about Philadelphia Congress in 1776. Okay, here you can, in Pennsylvania, you can mark Philadelphia. Philadelphia is also the eastern coast. Okay. Okay, Philadelphia Congress. Okay, this is the end of the thing, American Revolution. Okay, Philadelphia Congress happened in 1774. Philadelphia Congress is also known as First Continental Congress, because we have second, third coming up. In the coming discussion, we'll talk about that. So Philadelphia Congress, please link to First Continental Congress. 13 colonies, we already know where they're situated. They had self-government, local self-government. They were paying taxes. Now, after Boston Tea Party, what Britain have done, they have dissolved all the self-government. Now, they don't have self-government. Because of that, they were protesting against British. Okay. These 13 colonies united together in response to coercive acts by Britain for the incident of Boston. Now, the local government is also dissolved. Already they are in miserable condition. Already they are exploited. Now the local government is also not there. People have started protesting. Okay, so they have come together in Philadelphia and said that we are making a union. Okay, so representatives to proclaim, they said that we are declaring independence. These 13 colonies together. Americans also appealed to King George III to remove restrictions on indigenous industry, but he did not agree. Restrictions, I told you, they have demanded many things to the king, but nothing was agreed. To allow Americans to trade with all the countries at the reduced tariff, that was also not agreed. Not to pay tax the American colonies without their consent. No taxation without representation, that was also not agreed. So, but what the Crown have thought, British thought that these demands as a mutiny and attack the colonies. Because of all these things, what happened? Philadelphia Congress happened, and every 13 colonies came together, and they decided that, okay, let's make the union, and we will declare independence of ourselves from now. That's about the Philadelphia Congress. Okay, it's also called the First Continental Congress. We can see here, First Continental Congress. Okay, this is what happening. Okay, these are the 13 colonies. I have already shown you this one. Okay, now we are going to summarize this. 1776 to whatever happened, 1783 we have reached. Okay, major armed conflict happened. How armed conflict happened? Armed conflict happened because already Britain came with troops, came with army, and Americans were helped by France. French were given both troops and financial help. Okay, so major armed conflict were happening. French support given troops and finance. American Revolution would never happen without French assistance. Okay, this was a question in UPSC mains. Okay, American Revolution would never happen without French assistance. Analysis, something was asked. Okay, but this statement was asked. So you have to know how France is evolved in American Revolution. Okay, and you should also know how they have given troops, why they have given, first of all, why they have given, because France and Britain always they're in struggle. They were always against each other. So when a situation came, yes, and one more thing, France was also at not a good situation during that time. France was also did not had good money, troops, everything to support, but still they come in and help Americans to fight against British because they have that much rivalry against Britain. Okay, so American Revolution would never happen without French assistance. And finally, we can talk about the impact of American Revolution. American Revolution is one of the causes for French Revolution. How it is caused French Revolution, we'll talk when we're talking about French Revolution. French soldiers were inspired by the same ideals, okay? French soldiers come in and help Americans to fight against Britain, right? So the soldiers have seen all these things, even that their country is also in chaos. So they got inspired by seeing all these things. They went back to the native land, that is France, and discussed to people that America, this or these things happen. Why can't we also have something like this here? So like republic, democracy, etc. Okay. Success of American Revolution, a radical break with respect to monarchical rule. So till now, only what was there across the globe, monarchical rule was there. Now, first democratic constitution came. Where it is come? It is come in US. Okay, this has become a break for all the monarchical setup across the world. So all the countries started to think that yes, now we can also think something like this. And obviously, in every society, when things happen, people always want a change. Okay, so that was the impact of American Revolution. So all